Hey guys, welcome back to Twinderful Life. This week, Brianna and I are filming separately because I am about to go out of town for a little Valentine's slash proposal anniversary getaway that my husband surprised me with. So I am actually filming on a Saturday instead of a Sunday. Brianna and I will usually film on Sunday, but I'll be gone. So here we go. I'm sorry if it's a little shaky. I'm going to try to hold that still. I'm currently filming sitting on my bed because it's a wintry day here, and this is the best light I can find in the house. And I don't have one of those cool ring lights yet. Brianna and I have been talking this week about fun things we can do in each of our videos. And one idea that we came up with is on the weeks, we think we're going to do something like every other week we will film together and we'll answer a question about what it's like to be a twin, or what it was like growing up as a twin, or how it is now. Anything twin related, we'll answer questions the weeks that we film together. And then the weeks that we're not filming together, when we're just filming singly, we will answer just a random question about ourselves so you guys can get to know us better. And so this week, since we're filming apart, the question that we're both going to answer is, which is more important, a great car or a great house, and why? Brianna and I agreed. We actually agree on this one. We think a great house is more important because you spend more time in it. With that being said, though, I'm kind of trending towards the minimalist movement. And actually, my husband and I have been talking recently about possibly downsizing because we live in a townhouse. It has 3 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms, and it's just the 2 of us and our dogs. And sometimes I'm like, why do we live in this townhouse when we don't even use the other 2 bedrooms? Since we don't have kids right now, we may be downsizing, or if we do move into like an actual standalone house, it'll be just a small one because I'd rather spend my time doing other things than keeping up my house. That being said, though, I do have to say I really, really like my current car, and I drive a Chevy Volt, and it's electric. I should just put music here. It's electric, so I think I fill up my car once every 6 weeks, and it costs maybe $16, so I'm not spending hardly anything on gas. I can charge it both here in my garage, and then my work also has an electric car charging station, so I'll charge it there. And since I've been working at a place that has an electric car charger, usually I just do most of my charging there, and so the rise in my electric bill is maybe $5 a month. When I was only charging here at my home, the most it ever got to was $20 a month, so that's still less than gas. But I love that it's electric because I don't have to spend a lot of money on it. I love how it drives. It has a lot of cool features in it that I really like. And the place where Brianna and I live is struggling with pollution. And so I feel like that's just one little thing I can do to help in the area that I live to not add to the bad air quality. So I do really like my car, but given the option of having a great car or a great house, I would choose a great house since I spend more time there. As promised last week, we wanted to share our labs and our inches with you, our starting inches and our starting labs. So the most recent labs I have are from December 20th, which is a few months ago, but it'll give you a good idea of a starting point for where I'm at. The labs that I'm focusing on are my TSH, which in December was 2.11, which is a really good range for me. I've worked with my naturopathic doctor for the last 8 years to find my ideal range, because the actual range of normal is very big. And some people, their thyroid likes to be higher, a little bit higher in the normal range, and some like to be lower. I'm one where my thyroid likes to be a little bit higher. So my ideal range is somewhere between 1.95 and 2.15-ish. And in December it was at 2.11 for my TSH, so that was good. I don't have my most recent T3 and T4 back then because it was normal, so that's why we didn't take it. My doctor did test my free T3 and my free T4 in December. My free T3 was 3.5 and my free T4 was 0.99, both awesome, and in the normal range where where my body likes it. Like I said, we'll do another video that talks about specifically what some of these things mean. Most Western medicine doctors, endocrinologists, they really only pay attention to TSH and T3 or T4. So free T3 and free T4 may be a new concept for you guys. So we'll do that in another video where we talk about what these labs mean. Then another thing that I really focus a lot on are my thyroid antibodies, because that shows me where I am in my Hashimoto's disease. So in December, my thyroid peroxidase antibodies were 26.2. What we want those to be is below 3.9. So as you can see, I have a ways to go. That is showing that I still have my Hashimoto's. But to give you a reference point, like I said in our first video, when I was first diagnosed with Hashimoto's 8 years ago, my thyroid peroxidase antibodies were 133, and now they're 26.2. So that is a huge difference and a huge movement in the right direction. And I'm interested to see if I can get my Hashimoto's into remission and get those antibodies under 3.9. My thyroglobulin antibodies were normal. They were at 2. You want them to be under 5.9, so that's good. There are other labs that I wanted to share with you guys, but they're from a couple years ago. It's been a couple years since I've had them done. Things like cholesterol. So I'm going to get that done the next time I have my labs taken in about 3 months, and we can see where we are with that. The other thing that I pay attention to specifically is my ferritin. So when I was first diagnosed with Hashimoto's, I had really, really low iron because I had leaky gut. And I also had really heavy menstrual cycles. I actually had to start off doing iron shots because my ferritin levels were so low. And eventually I got an iron supplement, and my naturopathic doctor put me on progesterone to make my menstrual cycles lighter, and it's bioidentical. If you ever go on hormone replacement, make sure it's bioidentical. We'll go into that in another movie. But bioidentical progesterone, and it just did the trick. And so I actually don't even have to take an iron supplement anymore because it's normal. And so my last ferritin was 65. My doctor likes to have it above 60, and I feel best when it's between like 60 and 70. So that's really good as well. Okay. On to inches. I'm going to put my before pics here. These were taken last Sunday. I have one from the front, one from the side, and one from behind. And you can see that I am carrying a little bit of extra weight in the areas that are really normal for people who have Hashimoto's or thyroid issues. So kind of in the trunk area, around the arms and the upper thighs. So that's where I'm looking to see some results from really tightening in on my nutrition. So those are the starting inches. We will see what happens as we go along on this journey. So now an update on the other health factors that we talked about in our first video. If you remember right, the things that we're tracking are improvements in brain clarity, energy, back pain, and bowel movement frequency. This week, I'm not going to lie, it was a little rough. And I was not expecting that because before this week, I wasn't eating grain-free, but I was definitely eating gluten-free. And I didn't have a lot of dairy. I would have it once or twice a week. And I did have refined sugar, but again, it wasn't an overload. We're talking maybe once or twice a week for that as well. So I wasn't expecting it to be difficult. By Wednesday, so we started eating this using the instant lost meal plan on Monday. By Wednesday, I actually came home from work and I laid down on my couch in my coat and my shoes because I was so exhausted I couldn't even move to take them off. And I was like, okay, something's wrong here. I shouldn't be feeling this kind of exhaustion. After looking at what I'd been eating and just knowing my body, because I've been working with my body for a long time and trying to learn how to tune into it, I realized that I wasn't eating enough calories. I actually had a DEXA body scan. I'm not sure if you guys know what that is. I can do a link below, but a DEXA body scan shows your body composition of fat to muscle ratios, and it also shows your resting metabolic, I don't even know what you'd call it. I'd have to look at my scan, but basically how many calories you need to eat just to stay alive. And Brianna and I, we're larger women just in general. We are almost 5'11" in height, and we're just broad. We have bigger bones. In my DEXA scan, it showed that I need to eat at least 1,800 calories a day, just as a baseline. And I was looking at the instant loss food I was eating, and it was maybe 1,400 calories. And so I just made a decision for my body that I'm going to keep eating the meal plans, but I'm going to be eating a little bit more than the portions that Brittany recommends, just because it works better for my body. So once I started doing that, my energy started coming back and I didn't feel like I wanted to sleep the day away. And I really focused on adding more protein in those calories because I know that that helps my body. The other markers. So remember, we're rating this on a scale of 0 to 5 stars. 0 being I didn't notice any improvement, 5 being I noticed a huge improvement. So these are my markings for the week. For brain clarity, like I said, once I started eating more protein and calories, I'd probably say a 1 star improvement. Definitely yesterday I started noticing something in my brain. It just feels a little more clear and calm and focused. So that's awesome. Energy, I'm going to say 0 stars because I'm still trying to get back to the energy I had before I was eating too little. Back pain, 0 stars. My back has actually been acting up this week, unfortunately, and I'm not quite sure why. And I don't think it has to do with my diet. I've been trying a few different movement exercises this week, and I think maybe my back is kind of not sure what to do with it. So 0 stars on that one, but I don't think it's due to the way I'm eating. And then bowel movements, I'm happy to report a 3 star improvement. So before we started eating this way, I was really regular. I would usually have 1 and a lot of times 2 bowel movements a day. And for the past couple of days, it's gone up to 3. So that's a good improvement. Weight. Okay, so we told you we would update you on our weight loss every week. I talked to Brianna this morning. She's down 7.1 pounds, which is amazing, and I'm super happy for her. I think it's also interesting to see how our bodies are going to respond differently. I am down 2 pounds, which is great. Like we said in the first video, we don't really care how much we weigh, but it is nice to see us dropping extra weight that we don't need. So I'm now at 229.4, and again, it's Saturday, so it hasn't been a full week. Last Sunday, I was 231.4, so that's awesome. The other thing to take into account is I have been on my menstrual cycle. I just started a couple days ago, and I know that usually when that happens, I retain some water weight. So even with that being down 2 pounds, I think it's showing that my body is liking the way that I'm feeding it. Finally, one more thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is movement, because I have been trying a few different things to mix up my movement this week. And I call it movement because exercise for me can be a little bit triggering. Because Brianna and I used to be rowers. We were collegiate rowers and used to be really, really in shape, and we'd exercise like 6 hours a day. And it took me a long time to realize that that is not real life, and I'm probably not going to have that body again, and that's okay. But for some reason, the word exercise, it feels a little, I just feel kind of anxious about it. Like, because in my mind, exercise is like hardcore, just pushing it to the limit kind of stuff. And that's not really what exercise has to be. Really, it's just important that we're moving our bodies every day. And so I prefer to use the word movement. You can use exercise, either or is fine. So my movement for this week is yoga. I had a really good practice a few years ago, kind of fell out of it when my back got really bad, and now I'm trying to get back into it slowly. This week, I did 1 yin yoga class, and that was an hour long. I'll get more into types of yoga that I do in a different video, but I did a yin class, I did a hatha class, that one was just 30 minutes, and then I've done 2 Muay Thai classes, and those were 30 minutes each. So those are the 2 new ones that I incorporated this week, and I'm wondering if my body was like, maybe we're not quite ready for that level of movement yet. So there you go. That's my update for the week, and next week Brianna and I will be filming together. And we're going to keep eating this awesome way, see how it affects our body over the next week, and we will talk to you later. Bye.
Hey guys, so this is my first weekly check-in, and I apologize for the lighting. It's nighttime, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. I also have a little bit of a cold going on, so I'm gonna sound a little like a frog. In any case, here are my stats for the week. My starting weight was 257.3. and my weigh-in on Sunday was 250. So my weight loss this week was 7.3 pounds, which is pretty amazing. I did take my starting measurements, and I think we'll probably update this monthly, not weekly. But just so you guys know, I'm looking at my cheat sheet here. My starting chest measurement was 47 inches. My natural waist measurement was 46 inches. My hips were 48 inches. Arms are 15 and a half inches, and thighs are 26 inches. So those are my starting stats as far as inches of things that I'm measuring, and we'll measure again in 1 month's time. For my labs, I wrote down all my labs and I left them at work. So I'm going to have to, in next week's update, review the labs that I forgot. But of the ones I do remember and I have memorized, my TSH was 2.1, which is in the normal range. But my antibodies were 55. And just so you guys know, 35 or below is usually a normal range. Optimal range is actually 2 or below. So that's what has kicked me off on this journey, is I'm headed towards Hashimoto's, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to burn out my thyroid. So my doctor recommended that I bring my body inflammation and my antibodies down through my diet. So that's what I'm doing. All right. Health markers for the week. We talked about 4 health markers that we're going to use to kind of tell you guys how we're feeling, other than just weight-wise and inches-wise. So the first one I have written down is brain clarity. And on a 1 to 5 star scale, my brain clarity was a 4. I honestly felt a huge difference in my thought processes, in how I spoke, and I just felt clear-minded. It felt really nice. As far as energy goes, I'm actually usually pretty energetic. So I put it at a 3 because I feel like I could be more energetic. And obviously this week, it being the first week, my body was kind of getting used to eating clean. I don't know what's going on with the light. Sorry about that. So I'm going to leave it at a 3 and hoping to get to a 5 there. As far as back pain goes, I gave it 5 stars. I didn't have any back pain this week. I've been doing pretty well in that area. And I hope that the more weight I lose, that will continue to stay that way. And then the last one was number 2. So going number 2. I've had a problem with that in the past. I haven't been super regular. And so I'd go, like once every other day. But since eating clean this week, I go 1 to 2 times a day. So I noticed a huge difference there, which has been really nice. All right. Movement for the week. So exercise. I'm not doing anything extreme. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I just walked for 60 minutes on the treadmill while I watched a show or whatever I wanted to watch. And then on Thursday, I took my kids to the park and we played for about 45 minutes. And I actually played. Like, I chased them. I didn't just push them on the swing. I chased them and we played hide and seek and stuff. So it was really fun. And then last but not least, Brittany and I have decided to answer a question every week. And this week is, which is more important, a great car or a great house, and why? And this one's super easy for me. It's definitely a great house. And it doesn't need to be anything ostentatious, but just something cozy and something where I feel totally comfortable being. That's my style. I love to decorate. If you guys could see my car that I've had since college, it's a 2002 Honda Accord. That thing has 260,000 miles on it. The back bumper's falling off, but she is still going, and so I'm still driving her. So as long as I have something that gets me from point A to point B, I could honestly care less about what I drive. But I do care about having a nice environment so I can feel calm and peaceful. And so that's definitely what I would choose, is the nice house. I hope you guys are all doing great. And if you are doing this journey with us, or your own journey to getting healthy, just keep at it, one day at a time. I know that things come up, and especially on the second day of this eating clean, I was craving sugar like crazy. But I just kept telling myself, just one meal at a time, one step at a time. Don't think too far in the future. And I got through it, and I'm actually feeling really great. So I'm looking forward to updating you next week. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.